Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Janet.
What happened to your voice earlier? How did you summon in that Okpe in there? Good morning, how are you? Perfect. Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning.
Perfect. Good morning, Rufai.
Morning, Oji, how are you?
Great. I'm doing well, thank you. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, President Joe Biden on Tuesday joined members of the United Auto Workers in Michigan on the picket line in a historic moment for a modern president that comes amid a tense re-election race. Biden's show of support in Detroit came a day before a planned visit by former President Donald Trump, the front-runner for the Republican nomination in next year's election.
You deserve the significant raise you need and other benefits.
Let's get it!
Let's get back what we lost, okay?
Yeah.
Then, a New York judge on Tuesday found former President Donald Trump and his sons liable for defrauding banks, insurers, and others by massively overhauling his assets and exaggerating his net worth on financial statements for roughly a decade while building the real estate empire that brought him into limelight and the White House. In Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Tuesday congratulated Muslims celebrating this year's Eid al-Mawlud and charged them to live by the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. Tinubu also urged religious leaders to use the period to pray for the country and to admonish their followers to take the appropriate lessons from Prophet Muhammad's life in their commitment to the country. Then, the Senate on Tuesday confirmed the appointment of Yemi Cardoso as the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and 4 others, Nana Usoro, Mohammed Sani Abdullahi Datijo, Philip Ikeazo, and Bala Bello as deputy governors of the Apex Bank. During the screening, Cardoso promised to embrace compliance, assuring that under his leadership, the Apex Bank would remain apolitical. On our entertainment, Colombian pop star Shakira was charged on Tuesday with tax evasion for the second time by the Spanish government. Prosecutors in Spain allege that the 46-year-old multiple award-winning singer defrauded the state of 6.7 million euros in 2018 when she failed to declare millions in advance payments for her El Dorado World Tour. Among other payments, Shakira faces trial over 6 separate alleged tax crimes in Barcelona this November, charges she has denied. Finally, the head of Malian Records, Naira Marley, one of the persons of interest in the death of the late singer Mohbad, in a lengthy tweet on Tuesday said he is making arrangements to return to Nigeria to assist the ongoing investigation into the death of the 27-year-old singer who died under controversial circumstances. Naira Marley, who has been out of the country since August 31st, also stated that he will honor the investigation by the police and fully cooperate with the investigation by giving his version of events and insists that he has no hand in the death of Mohbad.
On silence mode, but beast near me. Will it cause violence, but still peace near me.
We must see the end of this story. Good job, Naira Marley, with that statement. Well, all right. Let's begin what's trending. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, who has been embroiled in controversy over ordering traditional rulers in Oyo State to get up from their seats to greet the governor of the state, Seyi Makinde, was seen in a now viral video prostrating for the Olota of Ota in Ogun State. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
It's time to say it, so we want to hear the voice of Baba here today. We want to hear from Baba, very brief one. And thank you, the Emperor of the world.
Obankio, Baba.
aláìlúwa ń jẹ́ o ọlọ́fẹ́ àpèsè olóde ń jẹ́ àṣẹ bàbá àṣẹ wà àṣẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ bàbá.
Well, you know, Nobel Laureate Professor Wole Soyinka over the weekend at a book launch took a jab at the former president over his actions towards the traditional rulers in Oyo State. During the book launch, which had traditional rulers in attendance, he told them that he was not in their presence to bark at them to stand up and sit down. Let's take a look.
Celebrant and new latest member into the club of the literati, a good friend, my junior brother here, seated here, Habib, Your Royal Highnesses, and I wish to assure you that I'm not about to bark at you. Stand up! And sit down.
Well, that video, Dr. Abati, was trending over the weekend. But what can we say? Would you say Obasanjo prostrating for the Olota of serves as some sort of appeasement to the gods? I don't even know if it's to the Oba, because they say it's sacrilege what he did in Oyo State. Dr. Abati.
Okay, I think this is it. I mean, Professor Wole Soyinka and President Obasanjo, they are brothers.
Yes.
They grew up about the same time in Abeokuta. And I know, one part of it is that Professor Soyinka used to joke that when he was a young man, he used to call President Obasanjo Brother Shegun. But what he does not understand is how a man he used to call brother is now younger than him. So they're always taunting each other.
Yeah.
Either the issue is about politics or space within the Nigerian environment, or even something as simple as who knows which wine is better than the other. So between them, I don't think it's an issue. I think Professor Soyinka is just the usual jest, between the two of them. He was at an event and he was saying, I'm not going to ask you to stand up or sit down because this is a civilized gathering.
Civilized gathering, yes.
So, Professor Soyinka is a master of satire. So not that there is any ill will, in my view, involved in that. Secondly, President Obasanjo going to the palace of the Olota of Ota, Alengeye Kun II, who is the sovereign of Awori land, who has one of the original crowns from Ile-Ife, and prostrating to him. It's just President Obasanjo himself respecting protocol. And that's not the first time he would do that. After all, there are pictures of him out there prostrating even to the Onirisha, the Oni of Ife, who is even much younger than Lalenge Kun II. So that's Yoruba tradition. But the point here that we reiterate again that President Obasanjo was making when he was in Oyo State was about protocol. That look, when the governor or a president enters a forum, you are just by share protocol, which is an important part of diplomacy. You all stand up. It doesn't mean that you are inferior to the person. You respect the office. When the person is no longer occupying that office, you can then disrespect him if you so wish. And you can see in this particular case, I think it occurred yesterday, September 25.
Yes, it did.
When he visited Ota, And he submitted himself to the authority of the sovereign of Awori land, where himself is, one of the subjects. You know that Otafa is under the sovereignty of the Olota of Ota. So that's Yoruba culture. But how do we draw the line between culture, tradition, and modernity? Is this conflict between tradition and modernity that played out in Oyo State when the president was making a point about protocol? But I don't think it's any big deal. I've seen some groups say all chieftaincy titles that President Obasanjo holds should be taken away from him. That's a joke. Nothing like that is ever going to happen.
I did see that circular. I thought it was a joke too.
There was a statement like that by some Yoruba Congress.
I saw that, It was quite laughable too.
And in any case, President Obasanjo didn't even bother to respond. No. Knowing that, that's not the issue. So
all right.
These are lessons about tradition, modernity, and protocol.
All right.
Yes.
Well, let's take another story. Well, another classmate who claims to have attended the Chicago State University with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has emerged and is said to have sworn an oath attesting that he is familiar with the president. Olajide Adeniji reportedly testified at the Northern District of Illinois Court in Chicago on September 23rd that he knew and contested against Tinubu as president of the Accounting Society Club at the Department of Business Admin in the same alma mater. His testimony is coming after Durojaiye Ogunsanya, a public affairs analyst, had also claimed to be Tinubu's classmate during a live television interview. Ayo, I'm sure you remember this story of...
We're still
waiting for him. But you know that this new classmate has, also elicited reactions on social media. Let me take one from Abundantly Blessed, who wrote, "This Olajide Adeniji, the recent classmate of Tinubu that just surfaced online, shouldn't have incurred these legal expenses. All he needs to do is to share his own certificate that was issued alongside Tinubu's own, and we can then compare. Why use sledgehammer on an ant?" Well, Distinguished wrote, "There is a lot to learn from Tinubu's story. Ensure that your school is or was accredited. Check your credentials and ensure that they reflect your academic discipline and the courses you took. Obtain original copies of your certificate by mail, not just a digital copy. Ensure they are signed and stamped. Connect with your former classmates and request group pictures you took. As parents, ensure that you are keeping your children's records safe. Don't dismiss misspellings. Demand a correction immediately. These points might sound funny, but it's very crucial." Rufai, we did see a group picture of Olajide, though, online.
Yeah, there's a yearbook.
There's a yearbook picture. He did put that out as well.
So all of this conundrum, I think, should be settled this week when the judge gets the other arguments from the Atiku camp and they make their decision. But we shouldn't go through this. For what it's worth, if it is now that classmates are surfacing, the question is, why didn't they surface many years ago?
Yeah, that's a group picture.
And the also question is, what about the classmates in the primary school and the secondary school and the university? Why are we having all of this? And the truth has to be said. Yes, in America, there are privacy laws, but when it becomes matter of very important national things like this, then people release a statement. And I'm going to counter an argument people have been making about Barack Obama, because I had to go and research that story.
Okay.
Barack Obama never defended his release of his school documents. And I'll tell you what happened. When the birther movement started in America, the birther movement led by Trump and people that were saying Barack Obama was not born in America, what happened was the fact that somebody from the birther movement subpoenaed Occidental College. Barack Obama spent 2 years in Occidental College before he went ahead to Columbia. Subpoenaed Occidental College, but the lady did not get her case right. Her case was very frivolous. In fact, the judge did rule that the lady should pay Occidental College $4,000 because the case was frivolous. And that was what happened. So Barack Obama, and it was around that time that the Better Movement was pushing that Barack Obama released his birth certificate to show he was born in Hawaii, because the Better Movement kept on saying that he wasn't born in Hawaii. So he wasn't born on American soil. And that was what happened. So there was no time he defended anything about, it was the Occidental College the lady was dealing with in that case. So in all of this, let's wait for the call to roll, but people should put out as much details out there, pure and simple, and let's just get to the end of all of this.
All right. Ayo.
Oh, yes, very quickly. A number of people are wondering why these classmates are coming out now, and you could have saved a lot of stress by coming out a lot earlier. But beyond that, and by the way, he swore under oath, so if he, and so we take his story for what it is, because if he's lying, that's perjury. But beyond the testimony of him in court, what would also put this matter to rest, what we've been reiterating, calling for again and again, is that there should be no secrecy. There's no need to hide anything. If, indeed, everything's clear, he went to school. The university itself has affirmed that he was a student and he went to university in 1979. So it's really important to take note of these things. He even said that they ran for head of accounting, president, keenly contested, and that's fair enough.
Right.
Let him have more people come out, and as that tweet said, let's have pictures, let's have certificates that authenticate it.
Dr. Bati, was there a particular reason that he actually went to testify under oath? Do you think that there's a specific...
the matter is before the court. Don't let us second guess the court.
Yeah.
And then, so that too many amateurs don't put their, foot and mouth into the matter. And in any case, all of these matters about the presidential election petition will be determined.
Absolutely.
Latest by November 6, right? And the material location for this, the main locus, will be the apex court of Nigeria. And it's what the Supreme Court of Nigeria decides at the end of the day that will prevail. And I keep saying that people should stop this suspicion of foul play, all this mischief and sentimental responses. This matter is in the court of law.
Great.
And the court of law will follow its own rules of court and procedure. And on the basis of that, take decision. And all of us will be bound by that, no matter how we feel.
Well, the good thing is at least we now know that we have two classmates of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that have come out to say that they know, but Tinubu did attend that university, the Chicago State University. Well, before we take our final story, let's take a look at this one. The officials of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps were captured in a video forcibly removing street traders from the Magodo area of Lagos State and also seizing their items. The video has sparked a wide range of reactions on social media, with some commending the authorities for their actions, while others criticize them. Let's take a look.
Let's be fast, let's be fast. Oh, yeah. We are packing everything. We are packing everything. Both the wheelbarrow and the umbrella and the reel. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, no wasting time, no wasting time.
Ayo, what are your thoughts on this story? Let me just say my own. I just hope that the food items in that truck, I want to know where they are going.
Yeah,
and this is my own. They should just find a way to go and donate those food items to more. Yes. They shouldn't eat those food.
And it shouldn't go to waste as well.
That's my own
for
now.
So, one of the natural responses to this is it's tempting to be emotive about this, to see people whose livelihoods are carted away in front of them and possibly the loss of income, especially with the prevailing economic situation. However, we cannot respond to it emotionally because we have talked about it time and time again about illegal street trading. And these task forces often go to these raids and then they come back. The traders come back to these places. It's the attendant effect on on the traffic situation, the fact that it blocks that they were on the pedestrian walkway, so it blocks traffic and human movement. We must state that there are offenses, clear offenses, and there are punishments for these offenses. So whilst it doesn't look fair that they are cutting away their livelihood, we must also speak to ourselves to be law-abiding citizens as well. I think that's really important. And like you mentioned, there should be a process. Hopefully it's given, in terms of where the food goes to, maybe given to people who are hungry or poor. But, I must say that it's against the law.
I mean, what they did is wrong. You cannot be trading on the road. It is wrong. So those KAI officers are there to enforce the law. But most importantly is also the fact that whatever it is, where they carry the food and everything to, at some point, I don't know if there's a provision for those people to go and bail out their wares there or if it's going to be confiscated. But people too should avoid trading on the road because it's really barbaric, because that could also be injurious to their life. We are so quick to blame KAI today. But what if in a case where a car loses control and runs into them? Are we going to say what we're saying?
Dr. Bati.
Okay, one, illegal street trading will be an offense under the law, certainly. But how do you process the law? How do you enforce it? Kick Against Indiscipline, KAI, was established in Lagos State in November 2003. What we have seen since then will be abuses in terms of how they operationalize. If you look at it as an ordinary person from an emotional point of view, most of the persons who own those goods, that's their main source of livelihood. At a time when there is food inflation, at a time when people are just struggling to survive. I didn't see any of the sellers, the retailers, anywhere around that place. They've probably been chasing away. They've probably been brutalized. So that's why it's important for the Lagos State government to take a second look at KAI, which is supposed to enforce environmental laws in Lagos State, and which is a reminder of Muhammadu Buhari's military regime in 1984. We cannot militarize the space in Lagos. And that's why Babajide Sanwo-Olu must take responsibility for this. Who took the inventory of those tubers of yam that they were taken away? The tomatoes that they took away. Did they identify the owners?
Exactly.
Even if those people are going to pay fines, will those things be returned to them, or they will end up in the pots
and stomach
in the stomach and the kitchen?
No,
of those KAI officials. So we call for a review of KAI operations. It's one thing to say there are environmental laws. It's more important to do it with real common sense.
Absolutely.
And that's why the governor should take a look at this and begin to audit, review the activities, the conduct of KAI officials, even as they enforce environmental laws.
Right. Please, Lagos State, we need inventory of those food items by tomorrow. I want those. I mean, there's no food in Nigeria.
That costs a lot of money now.
I know, unfair, really. Well, all right. I'd like to thank you all, as always, for your contribution on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.